as far as underneath the truck here,
Right.
the shifter cable
Oh, no one's.
is going to have to be replaced. The little tangs that hold this into the bracketry, they were gone. The guy actually, whoever put this in before, had it held on by a hose clamp, so
Okay.
that's not going to work.
Okay.
The other big problem is the front shaft going into the transfer case here is actually froze fast. So
What does that mean?
this has to be able to slide in and out to move with the suspension and
Right.
the engine and all that.
Right.
So I'm going to do everything I can to get this out freely without breaking anything.
Right.
This was already leaking, like it had
Yeah.
pressure applied to it.
I saw this was leaking in the bottom.
Yep. So that could contribute to that. So if I tried what was in the vehicle just to get it out, and it was like, you know what, this is taking me forever just to.
Right.
I just want to get the trans out at this point. So I'm going to work on getting this out. If I can't get this out, I don't know what we're going to do at this point, but I'll try to figure something out. But
Right.
that's the least of your worries right now.
Right.
Got a little bit of an oil leak. It doesn't look like the rear main seal's leaking, so that's not the end of the world, but what I can do is pop this off and reseal the back of the pan.
Right. So the main seal is okay?
I believe it is.
Okay.
A lot of it's coming from up top. So you can see it's all running down the back, coming down. Again, not the end of the world.
Right.
This is where the fun happens.
All right, we're getting into this.
The major problem, reason why it was in forward in all gears.
Yes, I noticed that on neutral, even on parking. I try to rev it when I bought the vehicle, and I was concerned. I told the guy, why does the motor don't want to go above 2,000 RPM? And I didn't want to buy until I drove it and I shifted and did it with above 2,000 RPM. So I was
Right.
thinking something was wrong.
Well, even in reverse, neutral, whatever, it always wanted to go forward. And the
Yes.
reason why is this is the forward clutch pack.
Right.
This is what actually engages in the gear to go forward. So these are welded together.
Wow.
So when
They're
these
supposed
are
to be
welded
coming
together,
out.
they never release. They
Right.
go in reverse, you never have reverse. So that's why this is,
So that was due to like low oil.
it's something, it's not uncommon. I mean, you see this every now and again, but not so much in these anymore. But could have been a low oil condition. It's hard to say. That is the initial problem.
Right.
Secondary issues that I found, which didn't even know about because this really had nothing to do with your issues, but you have broken planetary gears,
No wonder I heard that noise.
sun gears broke, and then your ring gear is broke.
Jesus.
So
No wonder when I did I was driving, I heard something grind.
and that's probably what
And
it
then
was.
I stopped the vehicle, I turned it back on, drove it slowly, a shift, and no more grinding after that. And from there, I didn't want to drive it no more.
Other than that, I mean, you have normal things that I go through. Clutches were pretty much all burnt. This is reverse. I was trying to go in reverse and it just couldn't because it was being held back. Some of it looks like it was rebuilt not too long ago.
Oh, really?
Somebody was through it because there's a new band in it.
Okay.
It's fairly new, and you know I can just see by different pieces that gaskets or whatever. Somebody was in this transmission.
Right. I just bought the vehicle, and I'm just my thought was just fixing the transmission, selling it, make a profit out of it.
Right.
But then at the same time, I'm thinking of keeping it. With this being done to it, it's like, should I even sell it now, knowing that I'm gonna have a brand new transmission?
Right.
Sort of, kind of brand new, you could say.
Well, it's going to be rebuilt, and everything's going to go back into it.
Right.
Good. You know what I mean? I'm not going
Right.
because I always warranty my work. So, the other thing I'm seeing is like things like this.
Right.
How the hell did that get broken there? And this one solenoid, it's almost like somebody
Force it or something.
forced the fill tube in.
Right.
Where the fill tube fluid goes in.
Right. That's where you fill it.
This here was broke, and I never seen one of these break like this. This goes into your valve body. So it's plastic, it can break, I get it,
Right.
but at the same time, I think it has something to do with whoever put the transmission in initially.
They didn't take their time,
I
or
think
was frustrated or something.
they ended up breaking that when
Right.
they were doing it, because this one bracket is basically there to secure it. And this one was beat up a little bit when I looked at it initially, so
Okay.
could be anything. I'm gonna clean this up
Right.
before I build it and look, just make sure it's not structural, that I gotta worry about anything there.
Right.
Because you have a little bit of ceiling area there yet, so it should be okay.
Right.
But again, like it's just little things like that that I've seen along the way just doing this. That
I was
scares
trying
me.
to look for this. I'm like
Oh,
here,
just
like
for the
looking
number.
what kind of transmission it was.
Yeah. But like I said, it's one of those deals. You don't know until you pull it apart what you're gonna
Right.
find. And sure enough, we found a little more than we wanted to. But
Right.
at least we see why it did what it did. I mean, between the clutches here.
I went this route because I'm like, there was transmission up for sale for 1,500, 1,000, but I just can't take their word.
Right.
Like I'd rather what you're doing, you're bringing me in here and showing me all this stuff, makes me feel better, make me feel like you know what you're doing, and I know what's gonna, it's,
Right.
those parts are not gonna go
Well,
back
you're gonna
in.
get a warranty out of it. Too.
Right.
So if you have any problems, you call me.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's so. But yeah, that's at least wanted to show you all that. So just so you have
Awesome.
an idea of what you're gonna spend your money on.
Right.
But I don't like the fact of how broke out that is.
Right.
But again, I think it'll be okay. There's a boot that goes in there that seals that,
Right.
and there's enough there yet. It
Yeah,
should
it's not
seal.
material, yeah.
So I think we'll be all right. But like I said, I think that was from installation error or something. I don't know. I've never even seen one of them broke before. But
Wow.
and I've done a ton of these units. So, but like I said, there it is. When I rebuild these, I go through everything. So we're gonna
Right.
get new gear set, new clutches, new steels, new band. I'll put a shift kit in it. Pretty much go over everything that I can. This drum's a little wore here, but I'll be all right with using that. That shouldn't be a problem.
So typically after they get rebuilt, how long do you usually like take for them to get rebuilt again?
As far as a warranty,
as,
like,
as a normal.
I would love to see you get 100,000 miles out of it, but I can't predict,
Right.
the future. And you can't ever go by mileage either because you don't know if somebody's going to be beating the hell out of it or
Right,
if they're
right.
going to maintain it properly and all that
True.
good stuff. So it's hard to say.
All right, that
But-
sounds good. That sounds awesome. I knew I heard some grinding,
Yeah.
and I'm like, damn, I was scared for a second.
Well,
but
this is pretty bad. There's a bunch of teeth missing in here, so
yeah,
it was bound to go sooner than later. You know what I
Right.
mean, I don't think it would have lasted too much longer.
that's why I was like, hitting the gas slowly, making sure I don't hit the gas on first gear fast or anything like that.
Yeah.
'Cause I was just nervous. I don't want them for me to get stuck. But knowing I don't have reverse, no, that was a big issue too. So.
Yeah, right. Well, you were about to have no forward or reverse, so. But yeah,
Um,
there it is.